Hello everyone, welcome back. It's Monday, so happy Monday everyone. And we're going to continue this week on our mini beast theme. So our first week we learned about ladybirds, then we learned lots of new things about spiders, and last week lots of exciting things about snails. So this week our main focus is going to be worms. And we're going to learn lots and lots of things about worms, and we're going to learn lots and lots of things about measurement, because worms are very long mini beasts. And I've got a special treat. If you watch very, very carefully, you will see I have a wiggly worm. Let's see if I can make the wiggly worm go around my neck. A wiggly, wiggly worm. And today's story is all about a wiggly worm. And the wiggly worm is called Superworm, and it was written once again by one of our favourite authors, Julia Donaldson. It's got lots of rhyming words in this story, so I want you to listen very carefully, particularly Sunshine class, see if you can hear all the rhyming words, and then at the end we'll go back through the book and we'll see different ones that we can find. So, our story today, Superworm by Julia Donaldson. Superworm is super long, and Superworm is super strong. Watch him wiggle, see him squirm. Hip hip hooray for Superworm! Help! Disaster! Baby Toad has hopped into a major road. Quick, whatever can we do? Look, Superworm has made a lasso. So here's Superworm up by the tree, and he's wound himself round the tree, and he's going to rescue the toad from the road. The bees are feeling bored today. They need a nice game to play. Cheer up, bees, no need to mope. It's Superworm, the skipping rope. Two of the bees are holding on here, and the other 3 bees are skipping on the worm skipping rope. Beetle's fallen into the well. Is she drowning? Who can tell? Not to panic, all is fine. It's Superworm, the fishing line. Then toads and beetles, bees and bugs, brother snails and sister slugs, uncle aunt and earwig aunt, clap and cheer and chant this chant. Superworm is super long, Superworm is super strong. Watch him wiggle, see him squirm. Hip hip hooray for Superworm! The chant is carried in the air. It's to Wizard Lizard in his lair. He mutters to his servant's ear, find that worm and bring him here. The servant crow is black and grim. Everyone is scared of him. They all let out a fearful shriek to see their hero in his beak. Oh no, he's carrying Superworm off. The lizard waves his magic flower. Now, Superworm, you're in my power. And you must tunnel, writhe and coil to find my treasures in the soil. Superworm is very cross to have a lizard as his boss. But when he tries to slink away, the wizard's magic makes him stay. For days he tunnels, twists and winds, but all the treasure that he finds is 2 small buttons, half a cork, a toffee, and a plastic fork. The lizard flicks an angry tail. Have one last trial, and if you fail to find the treasure down below, I'll feed you to that hungry crow. A crow is a type of bird, isn't it? The crow is flapping through the night. Everyone looks up in fright. They see him perch upon an oak, and they listen to his dreadful croak. Superworm is good to eat. Superworm's a special treat. He'll be juicy, fat and firm. Hip hip hooray! It's Superworm! Action! Quickly! At the double! Superworm's in frightful trouble. We must help him if we can. We must hatch a cunning plan. The garden creatures leave their home, carrying a honeycomb. They jump and fly and crawl and creep. They chew the petals off his flower to rob him of his magic power. The caterpillars fetch some leaves, while busily the spider weaves. Just like last week when we were making things, or the week before, what were we making? Spider webs. The web is strong, the web is tough, the web is plenty big enough. The wizard wakes. This isn't funny. I'm wrapped in leaves and I'm stuck with honey. Oh, look what they've done. They've spun a web around him, wrapped him in a web, covered him with leaves and all sticky honey, and they've trapped that wicked wizard to try and rescue Superworm. Then the bees and the beetles fly, and they lift the web up into the sky. Oh dear, the terrible little lizard looks really scared. This is the place, and bang, crash, thump, the wizard's in the rubbish dump. And now from somewhere underground there comes a distant rumbling sound. The earth begins to heave, and then Superworm is back again. Because worms live right underneath the ground, don't they? We're going to learn lots of things about worms this week. Superworm, the swing, the slide, the hula hoop, and the fairground ride. Superworm, the belt, the hat, the crane, the train, the acrobat. Wow, he's very versatile, this worm, isn't he? Then toads and beetles, bees and bugs, brother snails and sister slugs, uncle ant and earwig aunt, clap and cheer and chant this chant. See if you can join in with me. Superworm is super strong. Superworm is super long. Watch him wiggle, see him squirm. Hip hip hooray for Superworm. And there he is with all the toads. And let's see the toads here. And you can see the snails here. And there's a little ant here. And there's bees and caterpillar wriggling over Superworm here as well. And there's some more, it looks like there's a slug down here as well. So all those mini beasts that we have been learning about this half term while we've been working at home. So Superworm and the story had lots of rhyming words in it, didn't it? So let's see if we can find some of those rhyming words. First of all, we had in his chant, Superworm is super long, Superworm is super strong. Long and strong, rhyming words. Help disaster, baby toad is on the road. Toad and road. What else can we find? Let's have a look on this page and see if we can fall. Ah, yes, this is a good one. Beetles fallen in the well. Is he drowning? Who can tell? Well and tell. Rhyming words. They sound the same. Any on this page? Yes. Then toads and beetles, bees and bugs. Brother snails and sister slugs. Bugs, slugs. Rhyming words. Any on this page? Yes, there's some here as well. The servant crow is black and grim. Grim. And everyone is afraid of him. Grim and him. And if we go back to our page here where he does his little rhyme, we could say it one more time all together and see if we can learn that rhyme, and you can chant it all week when you're doing your worm activities. Superworm is super long. Superworm is super strong. Watch him wriggle, see him squirm. Hip hip hooray for Superworm. So you can have a try when you're doing your worm activities this week to say that little rhyme as you go along. It would be quite nice as well for some of the older children if you've got a copy of this book, or you may also be able to keep looking at it on the YouTube that I've just read it to you on, and you could see if you could write down, or ask Mummy and Daddy to help you, to write down as many of the rhyming words that you can find in the story. Some of the words you may be able to write yourself, and some of the words you would need Mummy or Daddy to ask you, to help you, to do. So you can work on rhyming words again this week, because a lot of the Julia Donaldson books are written with rhyming words. So I shall look forward to seeing those and some of the pictures and some of the words that you're going to send me on email this week. So have a good week learning all about worms, and with our focus on measurement as well, seeing how long things are. And for the time being, I will find my wiggly worm, and my wiggly worm and I will make him go down again, and then we'll make him come up again, and we will both say goodbye until tomorrow. Here he comes, and there he goes again. So bye bye, and see you again tomorrow.